I'm about to power on a £1,000 printer. Wish me luck. 3, 2, 1. Over the course of 2 days, watch me as I transform a pile of parts into this enclosed CoreXY Prusa powerhouse. You'll experience me assemble the Nextruder, the advanced filtration system, camera module, and you'll watch me tune the belt pulley system. Hi, I'm Bruce, and this is my first 3D printer build. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed building it over the weekend. Have fun. Have you ever wondered what it actually takes to build a 3D printer from a pile of parts? I'm Bruce, and welcome to Bruce Labs, where we don't only talk about innovation, we build it, document it, and share what we've learned. Our innovation projects are getting more complex along the electromechanical domain, so adding a 3D printer isn't just an upgrade for us, it's a capability leap. Today, we're unboxing and assembling the Prusa Core One unit, including an advanced filtration system and the Body 3D camera. The kit comes with every tool you need. No soldering, no special equipment required. Just a well thought out box of parts and a very clear manual to follow. Why the Core One? I'm not a 3D printing expert. Instead of geeked out specs, I'll focus on our requirements. A platform with lots of learning opportunities for us and supported by a strong maker community. A system with room for future upgrades, and we needed an enclosed machine with proper filtration to enable us to operate comfortably in our Bruce Labs workshop. As you can see here, I'm setting up a well-lit workspace and organizing the parts, but there's a twist. You never open a bag until the manual tells you to. Trust me, you'll thank me later. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the base, back, and heatbed assembly and start bringing this Core One 3D printer to life. There are some surprisingly satisfying steps ahead, so stick around. You won't want to miss out on how it all comes together. Day one begins. We're kicking off with the base frame. This is where the build really starts to take shape, and it starts with metal parts from quite a heavy box. Alignment is critical here. Every corner needs to be square. So stay dialed in and let's dive in. First things first, this metal parts box is by far the heaviest piece of the kit. Make sure you use the handles and lift with your legs. Keeping the empty boxes on hand helps you stay organized and is useful during the parts build as a support base. Also, if you ever need to send a part back, you'll be glad you saved the packaging. Between us, I didn't exactly follow the Core One energy booster instructions. I was halfway through the bag of gummy bears by the time I finished the unboxing. As you start assembling the base, sort out the parts and double check the screw sizes. Don't open every bag at once. Go step by step and resist the urge to keep ahead using the pictures. Fit each motor and the base plate. And here's a tip. Lift the motor slightly while tightening the screws. It gives you a more precise fit and prevents base binding. The holders for these motors are also 3D printed, so you might need to maneuver a bit to get the screws lined up. Keep an eye out for subtle differences between the front right and front left motors. The manual covers these differences, but if you skip ahead using only the pictures, you'll miss a step and you'll have to redo it all. The back frame assembly mirrors the base. Pay attention to the orientation of each extrusion. There's something unexpectedly satisfying about hearing these parts click into place. And now the heat bed. Handle it carefully. This is the heart of the 3D printer. Make sure the bed cable exits on the right and use the washers and spacers exactly as the manual shows. For a moment, I thought Prusa had forgotten to pack the heat bed cable cover in my box. Spoiler alert, it's tucked under the printed parts box. Don't make my mistake of nearly panicking before checking underneath. As the base frame, back frame, and heat bed come together, the Core One starts to look like a real 3D printer. Coming up next is the CoreXY and gantry, the part everyone talks about. There's a little trick to keeping those belts perfectly even that you won't want to miss. that finished a long time ago, so instead of having that, we'll just crack it. Time for the most intricate part of this build, the CoreXY and gantry. This is where a single misrouted belt can ruin your day, but follow along and you'll be fine. I've laid out the rod holders, carriages, linear bearings, idler pulleys, and the screws. Quick tip, don't fully tighten anything yet. Many of these parts will need final adjustment. We start by prepping the rod holders, left, right, and rear. Insert the M3x10 screws and leave them loose. Then attach them to the CoreXY plate, making sure chamfers align and secure with the M3x6 screws. Next, build the XY carriages, orient the beveled side correctly, insert G2 20 idler pulleys and secure them with M3x18 screws. Attach each carriage to the linear holders and mount the LM10 LULU bearings with M3x8T screws. Remember, there are two sizes of smooth rods, 330x8mm and 325x10mm, so don't mix them up. We're already seeing the frame take shape. Up next is the linear rail. There are green anti-ejection safety pins on the rail. Do not remove them yet. We're going to attach the rail to its beam and shift those pins to new holes before they come out completely. Let's get to it. Wipe off the preservative oil from the linear guide and attach the rail to the beam. Insert two M3x6 screws into the third holes from each end, just finger tight. Now locate the safety pins to the fourth holes using needle nose pliers. Don't move the carriage during this step. Add screws to the first and fifth holes, still only snug. In the next step, we'll add the assembled rail to the gantry and finally remove those pins. Prepare the bed stop rear with 3 M3NS nuts and 3 M3x8T screws. Insert 2 nuts from one side and one from the other. Slip the bed stop under the triangular protrusion under the back of the CoreXY plate and align the holes, then screw 3 M3x8T screws. The top screw cuts its own thread, so expect some resistance. Grab the XY motors, slide the pulley onto the X motor's shaft. The toothed side must face the motor. Use the forked assembly tool to set a gap between the pulley and the motor, then tighten both grub screws. The Y motor pulley is opposite. The teeth face away from the motor. Double check the orientation difference before you lock it down. With both motors prepped, mount the bed stop and secure the motors under the CoreXY plate with 4 M3x35 screws each. Hold the motors firmly. Dropping one will yank the belt out. Now the tricky part, guiding the belts. Start with the Y belt on the left side. Form a loop with the teeth facing inward and feed it between the lower pulleys inside the motor mount. Slip the loop over the Y motor pulley and center it. Then secure the motor to the frame. Route the belt around the lower left pulley and forward to the tensioner, leaving 4 to 5 teeth sticking out. Repeat on the right for the X belt. Create a loop, feed it through the upper pulleys, slip it over the X motor pulley with the cable facing you and route it around the upper front pulley. Secure the loose ends in the Nextruder holder, again leaving 4 to 5 teeth protruding. If you struggle to reach the holder, back off the tensioner screw slightly and retighten afterward. Take a moment to double check the belt paths against the illustration online. The X belt should run on the top plate and the Y belt on the bottom, never crossing. Everything feels smooth, right? Great, our CoreXY is assembled and ready for its Nextruder and electronics. Next, we'll tie down the motor cables and get the printer moving. Trust me, it's going to get even more exciting. Assembling the Nextruder is like building a tiny mechanical watch, except this watch feeds filament. Before you begin, gather a universal wrench, 1.5 and 2.5 millimeter Allen keys, plus a T6 and T10 Torx key. You'll also need 2 idler levers and a pair of tiny 693 2RS bearings, pins, an M3x6 screw, and a tubular spacer. Start by creating the idler. Press the 2 bearings into the idler lever A, slide the pin through them, and idler lever B on top, and secure it with an M3/6 screw. Don't over tighten. This hinge must move freely. This tiny assembly will later press the filament against the drive gears. Next, prep the extruder motor. Slip a thin spacer over the motor shaft. Position the heatsink so its cables point right and the motor cables point up. Then align the main plates to the heatsink using the cutout as a guide. Gather the planetary gear components, the gearbox, PG ring, and adapter. You'll temporarily attach the adapter to the PG assembly so the ring can slide on properly. Here's the trick. The ring has a chamfer. Rotate and wobble it gently until it sits flush. Never push the ring on without the adapter. You'll risk damaging the gears. Now, place the PG assembly on the motor shaft. Rotate it slowly until it drops into place. Remove the adapter and then reattach it to double check the ring spins freely. If the gear sits proud of the ring, backtrack and reseat it. Once satisfied, insert the idler assembly between the PG ring and the motor body, aligning the spacer cutout, and fasten it with a long M3x25 screw. The screw head should protrude slightly. Again, finger tighten. It's only holding the idler in place. Lubrication comes next. Prusa supplies a small tube of grease. Use the cap's spice to puncture the seal. Squeeze a pea-sized amount onto a zip tie and lightly coat the PG ring and gear teeth. Don't overdo it. Excess grease attracts dust. Wipe away any squeeze out with a paper towel. With the Nextruder ready, it's time to give the printer its skin and nervous system. For the bodywork and electronics chapter, identify the front right profile and the front left profile. Secure the right profile to the frame. Be sure the calibration screw points up and the circular opening aligns with the extrusion. Repeat on the left side. Lay out the 4 top profiles. When assembling the top profiles, slide the flange of the front plate under the left universal profile instead of on top to avoid a gap, and align the holes before tightening. Once all profiles are aligned and snug, check that the CoreXY unit sits square inside the frame before tightening the fixing screws. The side sensor base housing an optical end stop mounts next. Carefully rotate its cable through the frame to the main board. Install the sensor board with 2 M3 screws, ensuring the lever points freely. This tiny sensor tells the printer when the filament run out or door latch is triggered. Double check orientation. Reversing it now will cause mysterious homing errors later. Before closing the machine, tidy your cables. As the bodywork comes together, it's time to bolt on 2 Prusa Core One add-ons, Buddy3D camera and the advanced filtration system. This is a new assembly, so it's more convenient as I don't have to take anything apart. And finally, the trim and door. The top cover's protective film peels like a giant phone screen protector. Remove it slowly to avoid scratches. Best fit the cover, then install it permanently with Torx screws. Clip the side panels on using their built-in hooks. The door hinges into a slot and is secured with a single screw. Check that it swings freely and the magnet catches. Attach the xLCD to its bracket, plug in the ribbon cable and slide the display into the front opening. Once the screen clicks home, stand back. Your Prusa Core One now looks like a finished appliance. I'm about to power on a £1,000 printer if you include the additional accessories, and if I've messed up any of the parts, especially the belt tensioning, this could go very wrong. Wish me luck. 3, 2, will it work? Yes. So here are my reflections and conclusions on the Prusa Core One build. This has taken the best part of 2 days and 2 nights to build. And so unless your day rate is significantly less than £100, maybe 120, then I suggest the only reason to take on this build is if you want to learn more about the intricacies of 3D printers. As I publish this video, I understand that Prusa have just released a Core 1L now. Would I have ordered the Core 1L if I knew it was coming out? Probably not. The reason is that the space I have in the workshop is just a perfect fit for the Core 1. I hope you have enjoyed watching me build this printer over the course of 2 days, and stay tuned and look out for the different 3D print projects I'll be taking on going forward. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Till the next project, take care.